A little bit of heat goes a long ways when it comes to rust. Watch this. Look at that. A little bit of heat goes a long way. All right, guys, I guess this is a 3-part episode on this red F-150 that sat for a long time and is rusty crusty on things. Vehicles don't like to sit. They like to be driven every once in a while. Every time you drive, the brakes like clean themselves off, but it sits for a long time. Rotors rust really fast. I could take a rotor right now, spray some water on it. By the end of the day, it'll be rusty. So if you're not garage kept, those brakes, you let your car sit for a month, 2 months, 3 months at a time, whatever, outside, they get all rusty, and then they get beyond the point of them, like, let's call it self-cleaning, you know, every time you drive it. So we have our slide hardware right here for the brakes. Very important to keep these clean and properly greased with brake grease, guys. The best brake grease out there, Silglide by AGS. Silicone based, high temp. That's what you need. So I can see the boots are dry rotted on this. Not a really good, they're pretty dry rotted. This one had enough grease in it that the moisture wasn't getting in too hardcore. Looks a lot better at the tip than here. That's where water intrusion happens first. So they get seized right here most often. All right, so this is a 17 millimeter right here. And the 17 mil, I had already started to put the wrench on it and clean the rust off. And there we go. I got the 17 millimeter on there. And this one is spinning, but it's still stiff. I should be able to spin this with my finger. I don't think we're gonna find one of those little rubber pieces in there is compromised. And it is making it stiff. All right, starting to get easier. So we definitely need some fresh grease and a cleaning in here. I thought we were gonna bust out, or have to bust out, a little bit of heat. See them torches? And that's the way to get these unstuck, is heat up right here. Spray a little bit of water on your boot so that it stays cooler. Heat up right here, just a little bit. Too much pressure, cracks free, goes shooting like a bullet. So it's a little more than a common sense issue here. You also, the experience of knowing how long to heat it a little bit, start turning, feels like it's gonna snap off, heat it a little bit more, maybe peel back the boot with a pick or a screwdriver, spray a little penetrant in there. And that's the tips for getting these unstuck. I was hoping it was gonna be one of them situations, not for my sake, but for the video's sake. But seems easy with the wrench, but when I actually get my fingers on it, I got strong fingers and hands, too stiff. I can't hold this out with my hands like I did this side. I gotta get some grips on it. And then we're gonna swivel and pull. Swivel. It's in there pretty good. And these have to be able to go in and out. I can't get it to go in and out. Go ahead and get a better grip on it. This one's gonna take some hammering, but heat is not necessary on this one. And then if you're at the point you need to use heat, you're gonna have some rust buildup on the pin and right here. You can clean it out. I got a really cool Dremel tool attachment that goes in there and cleans them out good. Blow them out, brake cleaner, blow them out with air, re-grease, good to go, unless there's huge pitting. Then replace your bracket, or you might as well just get a whole new caliper, so you get a whole new caliper. So hammer and pull. This is supposed to come out of here. It's not coming out of there. Let's keep working it. Somebody just stopped in, so will be continued. All right, you can see right there, I'm starting to tear up that little lip of the pin. We pulled the boot back. You can see there's rust in there, buildup, which is keeping it, kind of like swelling it, keeping it from going back and forth, back and forth. So we're gonna take our pick, like I had said, pull it back, shoot penetrant in there, and with a little penetrant, close the boot back up. The penetrant will be all in there, kind of soaking in, and we will try it again. Heat would probably work here too, but a lot of people don't have torching devices, so let's do it this way. All right, we packed it full of penetrant, put the boot back over it so the penetrant all stays inside there, then continue working it. Get a really good bite on it this time. Really good bite. I can already feel it's easier to swivel a little bit already. See how impressive that action is? You know, I'm going like this and hitting it every time. Yeah. See my hammer moving? I think we're making a little bit of progress here. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah. It's came out a little further. Peel that boot back out again. Oh yeah, there's some crusties in there. Boot back on real quick. Keep all that in there. Clamp her back down. Keep working her. Like, oh, that's too much work. Just buy a new caliper. They already declined brakes. How much money do you think these people have? Oh, well, you know, you're charging 150 bucks an hour. No. Go about half that. And that's why I'm not rich. And if I'm not filming, I could probably do this in 5 minutes. But I'm talking to you guys. I mean, people don't consider that. There's a lot of ignorant people out there who just like to comment, and I don't know, they're sitting on their couch with no life or happiness. I'm not really sure what they're doing with their lives. We could work with the air chisel a little bit, real carefully. Once again, how many times I gotta say it, guys? I use a lot of basic tools in my videos. They're not just posted to, they're posted to every platform. So I can label this as a how-to video on YT and entertainment on Facebook. People don't think, they don't think. Who has an air chisel and an air compressor laying around? Average DIYer who wants to tackle their brakes. Who has torches laying around? I'm gonna show you how to do it with torches in one video. I'm gonna show you how to do it without torches in another video. All right, so I've gotten it to come out about yay far. I can keep on working it. But the point I just made, let's show you how easily it comes out with just a little bit of heat. Just a little bit. I told you guys not to call OSHA, and I appreciate that. My repair job, still holding up. Don't hear any gas coming out, soapy water. Still holding up. We'll be buying a new set soon. I won't blow myself up. That's not how this stuff works. If there was a pinhole in one of these hoses, you could just like light it on fire and it would just kind of shoot out like a flamethrower. And here's the cool thing about fire, guys, in case you didn't know it. It needs oxygen to burn. I could just go and it's out. My hands are tough. They have calluses. I can't even barely feel anything in my fingers. I worked with a pizza oven for a long time. I'll be good. Or I could just turn the valve off. Nothing's gonna explode. Science. So, a little bit of fuel. I'm just gonna make my flame go pretty much just like straight out. I got the heater going, so it's flickering it around. A little bit of oxygen. So we're not going cutting heat. This is a cutting tip that I have on it right now. Just going low heat. We're gonna stay away from the pad area. We're gonna stay away from the boot. We're just gonna kind of get the bracket heated up from the back. Spray it down with water on the rubber right there. And heat it up right here. Flame facing that way away from the boot. And you can use even a gas station propane torch that you see being sold. MAP gas, propane in a little bottle. They got those little full kits at Lowe's, Menards, whatever, for 40 bucks or something. If you buy yourself one, you'll find tons of uses for it. I used mine for years for starting my fire pit fires and stuff. Getting my cardboard boxes lit. But we're not putting a whole lot of heat on. I just want to stress the importance of heat and how much just a little heat, a little bit of heat goes such a long ways. So you may think, oh, you know, I'm not going to buy a little $5, $10 butane torch at the gas station. That's not going to help. No, a little bit of heat goes a long ways when it comes to rust. Watch this. Look at that. A little bit of heat goes a long way. Now, as expected, lots of rusty crusty in there. Swollen rubber pen. See that rubber? It's ready for replacement. It doesn't allow the pen to go back and forth like it's supposed to. Customer doesn't want new parts. And this would not be really worth my time if I wasn't making a video on it. It's called monetization. So, what do we do to make this go in and out? It's really simple. I'm going to take it to my wire wheel over there, and the wire wheel will just slowly, very slowly, shave a little bit of the swollen rubber off to the point we just take a little bit off. It's another one of those experience situations. You go too hardcore, you go too lightcore. Is that even a word? I know hardcore is, but just take a little bit off of that rubber. Won't be swollen no more. It'll slide in and out because it should be, yeah, it's just swollen. All right, wire wheel's over there, guys. See wire wheel? I'm just gonna take it, clean up the whole pen, and take just a little material out of that rubber. And then I'll put it back in there with some fresh, super awesome AGS Sil Glide. You can buy it in a tube or a bucket. I like to buy it by the pound buckets. It's in my Amazon store. This will last me probably 3 months of brake jobs, this pound. And so you as a DIYer, if you're a DIYer, they sell it in much smaller squeeze tubes. You don't have to get a pound like me, but find it in my Amazon store. In my opinion, best stuff on the market. All right, in case you didn't know, you can be cheap and get new rubber boots and slide pens from the parts store. If you're at that point where your calipers are that old, just buy the caliper with bracket. Like for this vehicle, what is it, 80 bucks at the parts store? You're gonna spend 20 bucks on hardware, and then maybe you want the new bracket because you're full of rust. Oh, that's gonna be 40, 50. Just get the whole assembly, all brand new parts. Perfect. So got it nice and shiny with my wire wheel. Let's see if we shaved off enough rubber. See, the rubber is still thicker than the metal pin, but I shaved just a bit off using the wire wheel. Works perfectly. Make sure you clean any nastiness out of your boot. And what we're gonna do, we know we have a problem with water intrusion because this side still had grease in it. The last person greased it. So we're gonna go a little excessive on our grease, seeing how they decline brakes. Nice little fat little piece right there, right? We want to get a lot, there's a little glob right there in the boot. See? A little glob of that rust that had mixture of penetrant grease and whatnot. Put your finger through there and push any nastiness out. That should be good enough. We're going to put a excessive amount inside the accordion of the boot. We know we have worn out boots that's causing water intrusion. So how are we going to combat that? We're going to combat that by packing the accordion part full of an excessive amount of grease. This boot is going to just snap right on there. And the boot doesn't really look that bad, but I could tell the rubber is a little worn out, letting a little bit of water in, causing this issue. And that's why this brake pad has twice as much life as this one. The caliper pin wasn't moving the way it's supposed to. Let's see if we shaved off enough of the rubber boot so it's not, look, it presses in and out now. Pretty easily. I could probably shave a little bit more off. I think it's good enough. Oh, little tricks and tips to make the person's brakes last 2, 3, 4, 5 times as long than simply just taking the caliper off, doing the job we were there for, the speed sensor. Just a little Carl's touch there. You know, everybody likes to get touched by Carl. So, we're good. They won't even know how appreciative they are of this special little touch. While I'm in there, get everything did. It doesn't take that long. I'm filming, going slow, but a lot more miles out of those brakes. Factor number 2 causing this pad to be half-life as this pad. They're stuck. Look at the ears. I'll show you the pad when I get it out. The ears are seized. They're not moving. So when they don't move, it's like they're constantly rubbing the rotor, right? So they're getting worn down, dragging a little bit. Can affect your gas mileage depending on the severity. I've seen that plenty of times. This one, not so stuck. Not so stuck. And who the heck knows happened to this bent hardware? And it's not like I got spare hardware just chilling for every make and model, but you'd be surprised I do have a lot of spare hardware, because if you got to do brakes and you buy premium pads, you get new hardware, but the vehicle also needs calipers. So I get 2 sets of hardware, and I only use one, and I throw them in a bucket. I got a 5-gallon bucket full of spare brake hardware. Yeah, I can go digging through it, but I'm already giving them all this free labor. So it's like, you know what? I've gone far enough. Now, we should not have to use a screwdriver and a hammer to tap brakes out like that. So what do? We got a little bit of rust buildup in that ear. That's gonna swell up. We take our hardware off, and probably gonna want a screwdriver for that. Be careful when we're taking our brake hardware off that we're not bending it like somebody else did, because we're reusing it. Now, these are made out of, I believe, stainless steel. Most hardware clips, not all, most. Oh yeah, she's a little bent, but that's just powder, brake dust on there. So little wire wheeling, brake cleaner, cloth, that'll work there. And we got swelling in the bracket, which is our main concern. And that's why you're supposed to put a little bit of brake grease here so it doesn't happen in the rust belt. If you're down south, you could probably skip this step. All that rust buildup right there, it swells. So the bracket, or the hardware swells, and it swells into the ears of the pads. And it fits into these little ears. And now the brake pads are not moving the way they're supposed to move. Press down on the brakes, caliper squeezes, presses against the rotor, lets off. Instead, they're just dragging, wearing down the brake pad all the time. Clean, grease, reassemble, put it all back together. See you later.